So, what does it really mean to be a leader? Is it just about being the one in charge? Well, today we're going to break down some powerful ideas from Simon Sinek that might just flip everything you thought you knew about leadership on its head. Let's dive right in. Okay, so here's our game plan. First up, we're going to tackle the biggest myths about leadership. Then we'll get into this game-changing concept called the infinite game. After that, we're going to look at practical skills you can actually use. And finally, we'll see how this all comes together to create a culture that really thrives.
All right, let's kick things off with section 1, what we get wrong. And we're going to start by knocking down one of the biggest and frankly most damaging ideas about what a leader even is.
And this quote, man, it just gets right to the heart of the matter. You see, Sinek's whole point is that we've completely confused rank with leadership. Being a true leader has nothing to do with your title or being the boss. It's a service. It's this incredible responsibility to care for your people and watch them grow. And Sinek has this brilliant way of explaining it. He uses the parent analogy. Think about it, right? As a parent, you work day in and day out to teach, to support, to build up your kids' confidence, all so that one day they can go out and achieve amazing things on their own. That's the real goal of leadership. And here's the best part, and this is really fantastic news for all of us. Leadership is not some magic gift you're born with. It's a skill, just like playing the piano or learning to code. It's something you can study, you can practice, and you can get better at. The best leaders are always students of leadership. Okay, let's move into section 2. And this is a total game changer. We're talking about shifting your entire perspective, all thanks to the concept of the infinite game. Sinek asks this really simple but incredibly deep question, because let's be real, if you don't even know what game you're playing, how on earth can you know the right way to play it? Okay, so this breaks it down perfectly. There are basically two kinds of games in the world. On one hand, you've got finite games. Think football. You know who's playing, the rules are set in stone, and at the end, there's a winner and a loser. But then, you've got infinite games. And that's business. That's your career. That's life. The players are always changing, the rules can shift, and the objective isn't to win. It's just to stay in the game and keep playing. So here's the problem. Here's the real danger. When you try to play an infinite game, like business, with that finite, I have to win at all costs mindset, it's a recipe for disaster. And the results are totally predictable. Trust disappears, cooperation breaks down, and innovation just stops, because everyone is just obsessed with short-term wins. So when you flip the switch and adopt that infinite mindset, your whole perspective changes. Suddenly, it's not about just crushing this quarter's targets. It's about building an organization that's healthy, strong, and resilient enough to last for decades to come. Okay, section 3. So we've talked a lot about the what, the big ideas. Now let's get practical. Let's talk about the how. What are the actual concrete things an infinite-minded leader does? Sinek gives us this incredibly simple but powerful exercise to figure out your personal why. Here's what you do. Call a friend you really trust and ask them, hey, why are we friends? And don't let them off the hook with easy answers. Keep asking. Eventually, they'll stop describing you and they'll start describing how you make them feel. And that feeling, that's your why. Oh, this is a big one. So many of us, especially in leadership roles, feel this immense pressure to have all the answers, right? But Sinek discovered that true strength is being able to confidently admit when you don't know something. Saying, I don't know, or I need some help here, isn't weakness. It's a sign of strength that actually invites your team to step up and contribute. And this is a perfect story of how that looks in the real world. Sinek talks about his best boss, Peter. Whenever Sinek had a problem, Peter wouldn't give him the answer. He'd just look at him and ask, well, what do you think? He taught his team to think for themselves. If they messed up, he didn't punish them. He held them accountable for finding the solution. He rewarded the effort, not just the perfect result. That's how you build real accountability. And that brings us to maybe my favorite analogy of all. Leadership isn't about intensity. It's not about the big off-site meetings or the grand speeches. Sinek says that's like going to the dentist. Yeah, it's important, but it's not what keeps you healthy. Real leadership, the kind that actually works, is about consistency. It's like brushing your teeth. It's the small, boring, consistent stuff you do every single day that builds trust and makes all the difference. Okay, on to our last section. This is where we tie it all together. Because a leader's mindset, all these skills we've been talking about, they don't just exist in your head. They're the engine that builds your organization's culture. You hear this all the time, right? The customer is our #1 priority. Well, Sinek says, nope, that's wrong. As a leader, your people are your priority, period. You are responsible for them. They are responsible for the customer. If you create a safe, trusting environment for your team, they will naturally take amazing care of your customers. It's that simple. And if you want proof, look no further than this story about the Four Seasons Hotel. They empowered their frontline staff to make their own decisions. And you know what happened? The staff ended up being more protective of the company's money than the managers were. Why? Because when you trust people and give them ownership, they treat the business like it's their own. That's the power of trust. And it all boils down to this fundamental law of culture. Your team is always watching you. What you do is 1,000 times more powerful than what you say. So the behaviors that you model and the ones you reward, for better or for worse, are the behaviors that will define your entire culture. So what does that look like? Well, it's those small, consistent, brushing your teeth actions. It's not asking your assistant to make up a white lie for you. It's putting your phone away, all the way away, when you're talking to someone, to show them they have your full attention. It's the little things that prove you put your team's needs first. These micro behaviors create a macro culture. So in the end, it's all about this massive shift in thinking. You stop thinking about winning, and you start thinking about legacy. The goal isn't to be #1 on some list this quarter. The true purpose of an infinite-minded leader is to build something so strong, so healthy, that it continues to thrive long after you're gone. And so that really leaves us with one final big question to ask ourselves. I want you to think about it. The way you lead, the decisions you make every single day, are you just building a business, or are you playing the infinite game to build something that will truly last?